I think like
boy, Arsenal's lead has been cut to 3 points, people, following Fulham demolished by Manchester City 3-0. Obviously, with that being said, the main talking point of tonight is Kai Havertz is injured and he's out for a couple of weeks, people. I know you don't want to hear that. This news broke during my watch along, and someone made the great point that Kai's been basically missing from the start of the season, which is true. And I feel sorry for him, man. In the last couple of months, best part of 2025 and 2026, he's had 3 injuries and he's come back, got on like a house on fire. Great relationship with Gyökeres, coincided with Odegaard's form. When Yeri's gone out on loan, does Eze get an opportunity? We know the cluster of games, I would say in the next 4 to 5 weeks, or the games we've got in the next 4 to 5 fixtures, and we're away from home, let alone what's being said from now to the end of the season. Injuries are part and parcel. We're going to have to get on with it. But yeah, we're 3 points clear at the top against against a great Brentford side who are overperforming. Arsenal couldn't do it. Everyone in the top 5 couldn't do it. If they lost their manager in Thomas Frank, who's lost his job again, Norgard, their captain, Vison and Buemo, their star men, and they're overperforming to the point where looking at it, they're 7th now. And I don't know how the game's going to pan out. But if Sunderland, spoil the day against Liverpool, who knows, people? Big up Chelsea for drawing. Better yet, big up Leeds. Big up Leeds and big up West Ham. And obviously big up Newcastle. But yeah, how do you lot feel for real, though, man, with Kai Havertz's injury? Is it just business as usual? Is it all doom and gloom? Because I do think social media and actual football are very different things. Because I do think there's sections of Arsenal fans most positive in the world, like no one can stop us. Injury, 3-point gap. Obviously, Liverpool not beating City is, they're going to catch us and da-da-da. Me personally, I believe in control the controllables. The whole 9 points rhetoric was said by social media, when in reality, we would have loved that. But that was reliant on Liverpool beating, obviously, Manchester City. Control the controllables. We entered last weekend with a 6-point gap. We left it. I have this mentality that regardless of what we all think about City, City are going to win every game, innit? So assume that and go and beat that. So we knew Fulham weren't, especially Fulham away, it weren't going to be, we're going to have a goal. You never know. And of course, you'll take favours if you can get them. But I expected City to do what they did. Definitely not 3-0, but in terms of 3 points, you know what we need to do against Brentford. Arteta, you know what needs to happen against Wigan. Beyond the obvious of going through, everyone needs to get rest. You lot, don't make that Wolves game as dramatic as the last one. North London derby, don't care about any managerial bounce. Don't care about our injuries. Don't care about the fact that they have 7 to 12 weeks off for the new manager to prepare. And we're obviously playing a lot of games. Get the 3 points. We need to go on a run. We need to pick up points. We need to get a bit of momentum going into March the 22nd, in the final. And then obviously, who we've got, on the 18th of April. So yeah, people, if I share my screen with you lot, I just needed to get that out. And if I've provoked any thoughts, please let me know in the comments and please smash the like button, people. Now, if I share my screen with you guys, people, Arsenal are still top by 3 points with a game in hand against City. Villa are only 6 points off. Man United, boy, you lot said you was in the title race. Boy, big points dropped against West Ham and Chelsea. Please don't compare Caicedo to Rice, much less say you're in a title shout. But being serious, Arsenal start to miss North London derby after another injury setback, with club officials concerned over long-term fitness. We have heard rumours. We got to manage Kai's fitness. Admittedly, he started well. He's got a great relationship with Gyökeres. He's done well since he's come back. He's looked a lot more fitter than someone that's going to be out for a lot of time. Maybe there's a case of adrenaline. I don't know, people, but Kai Havertz is set to miss the North London derby against Tottenham next weekend after picking up another issue. So that automatically, you're not playing any part against Brentford, obviously, and you're not playing midweek against Wolves. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Kai Havertz has recently enjoyed a positive run of form in the side after suffering an injury on the opening day of the season. But his latest setback, a muscle issue, is a blow amid concerns over his long-term fitness from club officials. As first reported by the Daily Sport in January, there have been concerns over the German's long-term fitness after his knee flared up on his return, with the club forced to limit the forward's minutes to give him the best chance of playing a key role this season. And I remember Mikel Arteta said in the press conference, I know Kai, he'll bang on my door that he wants to start the next game. I think that was in relation to Kyra. I have to be that guy. I do think in isolation, Wanyeri going on loan, it makes sense. French league is physical, minutes. Marseille, massive club at the time they're in Europe. Deserby, I'm not even vexed that Deserby's got sacked. I think you're very naive if you're doing the whole, I wish we should have kept him because Deserby's been sacked. That happens. But fundamentally, Wanyeri going out alone could be just to do with him getting more minutes. And obviously, you can't predict the future, even though we have to learn from the past. We've been dealing with injuries. You're indirectly telling me whatever tactics, whether it's what I make up in my mind, you lot as well. If Kai or anyone else gets injured, there's ways to mitigate against it. And obviously, Kai, when we think of Kai Havertz, we're probably more thinking of him in relation to the nine. You got to remember, he's playing in midfield. As I said, his return and his forms coincided with a lot of us fans thinking, yo, Odegaard's got to sit out. Even on that, do you think he'll go with Odegaard? Do you think he'll go with Eze? Do you think there'll be changing dynamics? Like, we might have three different kind of midfielders and we might say Rice, run forward a bit more, Zubi take more creative kind of ilk. I don't know. I think personally it means Odegaard's back in the side, in which if he goes through form, great. Side note, it's annoying because I do think we're at that point of the season where the purple patch players, so big up Gyökeres, but right now he's in a good moment, and the Bandulu brothers, in which the Marinos, who's ironically another injury, another left-footed injury, another man that turns it on and scores clutch moments. The Bandulu brothers, the Jesuses, the Kai Havertzes, the Marinos. We're going to need them in some way, shape, or form. And also, if they had concerns in January, why didn't they sign anyone in January? Now, I'm not even saying I was clamoring for signings, but that tells me that we think worst case comes to worst. Bearing in mind, we've seen bare injuries at this club. Bless me, apologies. We've seen bare injuries at this club. We can maneuver in it. Kai had a surgery a week after his injury against United, and as per the Daily Mail Sport reported in December, the German was 1 week away from returning to a matchday squad in November before picking up an issue in his last training sessions. It's understood that Kai had re-injured the same knee he injured at Old Trafford, a devastating setback for the forward and one which led to another phase of rehab. Now he's set to miss at least Arsenal's next 3 league games on Thursday against Brentford, next week against Wolves, and a crunch derby clash with Tottenham. He should have scored a header against Sunderland, but he had a great game, man. Pardon me. It's annoying, man. It is annoying, but we're going to have to get on with it. Arteta did say after Kai, right? The team knows how important Kai is for us and how we can help the team to be much better and take the team to another level. Let's bring him on board and make sure we use him in the right way because he's going to be really important for us in the second half of the season, in which, again, if you're going to have to miss the next 3, but you're involved from now to the end of the year in whatever competition, great. What has Arteta said on Leandro Trossard, Bukayo Saka and Martinelli, as well as Max Dowman, who's been rehabbing from injury since he last appeared in a match in November when he became our youngest ever Champions League appearance maker against Slavia Prague. Max is not available, however, he's doing well. I think he'll be with us in a week or so, and then he can pick up the rhythm and be available. On Mikel Merino, I think the doctors were really happy with the way the surgery went. Now it's the start of obviously a long process. We're talking about a bone healing, so we need to respect the timing of things. I'm sure he's going to do everything he possibly can to speed up that recovery. And I think Arteta uses that language around all of the players. So I always think that when they come back sooner rather than later, it's not a bad thing because maybe we could look at our medical department, but realistically, medical dons are not going to say put things at a detriment. The players, obviously, they might be 99.9% fit. Back of their head, they know there's that percentage. I'm not really fully fit, but they want to play and they're pushing. Now, and there's obviously Arteta where the medical staff might say he can play 90 minutes. I think this, though, Kai, on one hand, players. They're going to tell you I want to play. But these lot, as people in it, when they're lying or telling the truth or whatever, because, again, like any walk of life or any job, these people spend more time with each other and the gaffer than they probably do with their families. That's just the working life. But it's also, you've got that info, you've got what the player's saying, and then you've got Mikel Arteta to say, the medical stuff saying this, he's saying that. I might want to do these tactics against them. I need 3 points. We're just going to have to get on with it. But what do you lot make? I need you lot all to comment and smash the like button, people. I'm tired of you lot not letting me know your thoughts. I actually read your comments. And it's a shame, man. It's a shame for Kai Havertz. It's a shame for anyone getting injuries and injured. But it's a shame for Kai because obviously we only care about our club. But there is a World Cup to think about. What has Mikel Arteta said in totality? We're only going to go through the key parts, people. On Saka, Odegaard and Dowman, Max is not available. He's doing well. We've gone over the Marino thing. On the Liverpool City game, I understand the frustration that City won. Yes, I mean the fact that City won again, 3 points. There's injuries. Are we gonna crumble? These things could happen, but I think people need to calm down a bit. and just deal with what's in front of us. And that's attempting to get 3 points tomorrow. But there are things we cannot control. We have to focus on us in the present, and every 3 games was coming, and just enjoy that. I rarely agree with the gaffer, as you lot know, but facts. They were just really happy when we beat Sunderland because we knew that would be really tough. They may have been in our houses and watching it, but we're putting all the energy into what we do. That's it. On if the players watched it. On playing twice before City next play in the league, we just have to remain focused. Listen, all of us feel sorry for Thomas Frank in it, especially if the rumours are true that he was using Arsenal as an example at any given time. On if Premier League clubs are impatient, I mean, probably. And we all know managers have a short shelf life. You're not really going to see the Wengers and Fergies. On what makes a project a success, creating the chemistry with everyone around the club, and the percentage of the game that you win has to be really high. You want to continue in the job, and you want to go through a spell where you don't win games. And that's the moment that the sporting director or someone like this has to make a decision. And that changes from club to club. Well, very happy. That's what we all want from the beginning. Between us, we want to sustain that and bring bigger stability, performance, joy, and progression for the club. Hopefully this season we're going to be even better. On being flexible in relation to preparation for opponents, I think it's happened a lot of times already this season for us. At the end, you learn the lesson that not only with the change of manager, but what you expect a manager to do against us, because it has changed a lot this season. So we focus more on us. Do you not think there'll be a managerial bounce against Spurs, or same shit, different toilet? And what we want to achieve, the way we want to play, the things we want to happen in the game in relation to what they do tactically, because their setup is one thing, their profile of player is another, momentum of games and context is something else. We have to be able to adapt and recognize that and understand those clues to do what we have to do. On if there should be a transfer window for managers, I would love to see it. Form does go out the window for London derbies, and it will be a tough game against Brentford. I don't agree with this over-coaching player stuff. I've said this before. We know players need to adapt to new systems. We all know how congested November to March is. On Martin Zubimendi's goal contribution, credit to Marino. Marino's been showing in the celebrations how to arrive in the box and everything. He's a player who, the first time I spoke to him, said that he had a feeling that he was a bit constrained to go forward in the position that he's playing, which is interesting now with what you're seeing him and what obviously we've done with Rice. We tried to give him the license in the right moment against the right opponents as well to attack those spaces. He's been incredible. Small little insight into, I guess, some level of initial conversations with Mikel Arteta and Zubimendi prior to joining the club. On the potential he saw in Martin's goal scoring. To be fair, it's more in games than in training. In training as well, with the very little time that we have, we're focused in other areas. But he has this natural ability to do all that. So it's not a big credit to the work that we've done. On if anything's changed for Gyökeres, not much. I mean, his work effort remains the same. I think probably the energy, the confidence, when you start to score an assist and you score an assist, you probably believe it's going to happen more often. And the probability of that happening then increases. That's the only thing as well. I think physically as well, after the injury, because when he got injured, probably he had his best game or the best 2 or 3 games before that period. When he got himself again fresh and available and in training and a good sequences of matches there, I think everything lifted and now it's clicking. On what he does to build up a player's confidence. Remind them how good they are and what they bring to the team. If they're not bringing certain passes, just remind them that they don't lose sight of all the aspects that are very important on the team, that he's contributing for the team's success and winning. So it's not only with that. I think a big part of our job is to remind people constantly the important things and the relevant things and the reason why they're with us. On if 8 months is enough for a manager to make their mark. I don't think in totality, but I think in a little bit, 100%. So, yeah, man, they're asking Arteta some idiot questions, if I'm brutally honest with you. So we'll move on. Arsenal have been linked with RB Leipzig's Lukeba, who's almost certain to be on the move this summer. The Frenchman has been playing in the Bundesliga since Guardiola left Leipzig, where it's easy to link us with defenders, people. He's going to cost 50, 60 million. It's reported by Blind. Do you not realistically see us spending that kind of change on another defender? Stranger things have happened. But, I mean, we've been linked with Pulisic this week, Arda Güler, Diaz, Krupti, Samu of Porto, who I think suffered an ACL, and many other things, people. Julian Alvarez, naturally. Martinelli's been linked with going to the Middle East. So it's silly season.
As always,